wonder, especially some guys like that, when they're in the NFL or have something going on for them, professionally making a lot of money. Like, was something that bad going on in life, or did you lose something that
Yeah.
nothing could make up for?
Well, there's got to be so much pressure, obviously.
Yeah, and
I mean,
that was
you're
his
you
second
like
year in the league too.
yeah. I don't really I don't really pay attention to a whole lot when it comes to football and whatever. I mean, I support the teams that I
Yeah.
support, but I don't really pay attention to that whole lot. But I do know that um the pressure that's involved, especially in the league, is insane. And then on top of it, the hits that they take cause a lot of CTE and brain damage and depression and a bunch of other stuff come along with that.
There's a lot of factors that come with it. Like, so they've had to come a long way of controlling how much like medication they give them for pain and stuff, so they don't be getting to be addicts and stuff. But also at the same time, they're hypocrites, and is like, if a guy's getting suspended for PEDs, performance enhancing drugs, it's like 2-3 games,
Right?
and so they're
But
very
they
much
can
sending
chalk them
mixed
up
messages.
but they can chalk them up with any amount of pain medication and pain management drugs as possible.
Well, now they're trying to limit that.
Yeah,
That's the thing. They're trying to limit how much so they don't get addicted to that. But it's like, oh, the steroids and all that stuff. Yeah, we're just going to give you 2-3 game suspensions. But
yeah, I mean, he's not the only one that's taken that way out. There's been a lot of them that have taken themselves out just by overdoses and stuff like that too, that ended up being suicide.
How long ago was it? I want to say a Chiefs player went to the facility, basically parking lot, at Chiefs Stadium, and killed himself. Like, life was that bad. I don't remember. I think it was he freaked out and had a moment of anger and killed his wife, or like hurt his wife.
I mean, that's been stored like any super high end like athletic person who's gone through a bunch of pressure and stuff like that, and like has had the potential or has had like head trauma, has done things like that. Like, there's WWE wrestlers, there's like down the line of in athletics, anything.
It's all over the world, not just athletes and stuff, but it's something like a lot of people, I don't know, it just like ending it all for yourself seems so much easier sometimes to some people, but it's not what you should do. Hell, I've probably been in those boats myself a few times the last 15 years where it's like, dude, so much. And it's like, just don't.
Yeah.
Because the long-term effect it does to like everybody else that cared about you in the end is just, you're still dealing with it with your friend right now. And it's been how many years?
Yeah. I mean, it's for, unfortunately for me, it's not just one person.
Yeah.
There's so many people. I've had 4 or 5 that were like close brothers to me. And it's still something that I always get teared up about. It's never going to go away. The hole never goes away. It's just that you learn to carry on through it, and you learn to live for them and the way that they would want you to live, because they don't have a chance anymore. So the fight's done for them, and the fight stays on for you. And all you have to do is just carry on through that. You know, the pain that they were feeling, if you don't know how to manage that, it gets transferred over to you. Like, if you decide that that is something that you're going to attempt and do, and if it's successful, which is terrible to say that it's successful because it's not a good thing, that pain transfers over to everybody else around you. And it's just nobody understands what's going on. Nobody gets it. Everybody blames themselves. Everybody wishes that they could have talked to you for one more second. Like, everybody puts the responsibility of your life on them. And in turn, if you were to just listen, and I only say this from experience because I know, because I was there. Like, I've had my attempts, unfortunately. And if I were to have just to listened to one person saying it's going to be all right, like that would have changed my perspective. However, when you're in that, you're choosing not to listen. You're choosing to isolate yourself. You're choosing to pretend that everything everybody else is saying isn't true.
And sometimes some of these people are in situations where they're thinking they're helping other people by not saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the complete wrong way.
Yeah, you just have to speak up.
And you just wish they would know is just like, I really need you to eat. And it's the worst when it's someone that doesn't want to talk and share like this and how we do here. It's kind of worse with them because it's just like, there's no way to get a stone cold vault to open if you don't know.
No. I mean, there's no amount of explosive that'll get through it. But the one thing I can say,
being explosive is the last thing you want to do to them in that moment.
The one thing I can say is even if someone isn't opening up or they're trying to isolate, if you don't have the words, just sit, just be there. That's it. Like we talked about this before. We talked about having mud buddies and stuff. Like just sitting in the mud with somebody, you don't even have to speak. But eventually, your presence alone will make them feel comforted. They might not even feel it. They might fight every bit of it, but just sit with them.
Sometimes it just takes a minute of them getting, I don't want to say the act or the facade of like, leave me alone, when really they want somebody around.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
it's a defense.
Maybe it's a way of like you as a person that cares and wants to just be in the mud with them. It's just you being stubborn, like, no, I'm not going. Meets there, just like I do want you around anyways. I just don't want to talk. And he's like, that's fine. We can sit here.
It's
glorious. If it's me though, it's gonna be like, I'll talk. You sit there. It'll be fine. You'll cheer up in about an hour.
For a lot of people, it's a defense mechanism to push people away. Because it justifies their own reality and their thoughts when nobody else is around them. So they get to say, well, I'm alone. Well, what you're doing is pushing people away. But it doesn't matter. I'm alone. I don't have anybody. And in reality, if they were to open their arms and allow somebody to come in, they're not going to be alone and they're not going to feel alone. Human connection is something that is so important in our lives, and we lack it entirely. It's like a society that's slowly being pushed away with it, pushed away from it with all of our devices and everything, like our hustle and bustle and our gaining money for ourselves and our families. And we're losing the sight of charitability, and we're losing the sight and the understanding that helping people helps us. And like, that's why we do this. That's like my authenticity is to show that there's still people out here trying to help people. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. And it might just be through having conversations. And we have some plans here and there, but there's still people out there who want to get together as communities and want people to do better.
Yeah. And you know it's true right now when you have people doing stuff like this, where it's just like 10 years ago, did we think we were going to be doing something like this? Probably not.
No, I thought I was going to be stuck at a dead-end job, which is why I didn't like my life at all, which is why I was, abusing drugs and alcohol like crazy. And yeah, I'm trying to think of like, there is no be all, say it all thing that gets somebody out of the shit. Everybody's different. But one of the major things that helped me was actually listening to people. Like taking, just again, being that self-aware for like 2 seconds. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what's going on with myself. And sometimes it takes people hitting rock bottom to do that. Sometimes it takes people hitting the basement to do that. But if you're listening to this and you're struggling and you feel alone and you feel all of this stuff, like, you're not at all. And the one thing that benefited me was actually listening to the people who cared about me and just taking the necessary steps, just one step forward at a time to feeling better. And it all feels daunting and it all feels like it's never going to work, but one slow step at a time always works, no matter who you are. So
The big part for some people is making the big step and just like telling someone they're not okay. Also, thinking about it for someone in that feeling, it's pretty daunting. Like you said, it's pretty scary to like openly tell somebody is like, I was thinking about just ending it all, man. I don't know what to do now. It's like, I'm hurting from this. I'm hurting from just everything that keeps piling on that I have no control of.
Or you have no idea what's going on with you.
Yeah.
But for me, I can't even necessarily remember why I was choosing to push towards that darkness. I have no idea. Like I'm sure if I backtracked a bunch of stuff I could pinpoint it, but for me it's like there's really no reason for me to go back there. My the way that my brain chemicals work is I'm very vulnerable and susceptible to slipping back into dark places. And so I choose not to intake and I choose not to go back to those places. I try to understand them from afar. But
And even then, like you said, key part is the far because you don't want to get trying to understand why into back in it.
Yeah.
And not even worrying about why anymore. You're just depressed and broken.
And well, knowing that it's going to pass, that's something that definitely helped me. But I only learned that through going through it. But knowing knowing that feeling and that, like, knowing the anxiety, the panic attacks, the depression, the loneliness, the just abyss where you're like, I don't know what I'm doing with anything. And in the fear of it, knowing that all passes, and it's almost as if you can't tell people who haven't been through it, like, hey, it passes. I swear to God, it passes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not all rain.
Sometimes that's not really like people like me. That's the last thing you want to hear because it's just like, I have already been in this mess for so long, whatever it is. And it's just like, how are you going to tell me it's going to pass?
Yeah.
And just in this day and age, doesn't feel like anything. Well, it feels like trends pass really fast, but problems and issues seem to stay and linger and just stay around way longer than they need to.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like
that's the part where I feel like is what you're talking about, where people are just broken.
Yeah.
It's literally an abyss. It's one of the darkest places ever. But for some odd reason, you want to stay there because it's better than trying to fight it.
It's comfortable. Yeah, you stay there because it's comfortable and it's a place that you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easier. It's much easier to be pessimistic. It's much easier to be like, well, everything's against me. It's much easier to say everything is everybody else's fault, not mine. It's so much harder to decide to say I'm the one who has the issues and the only person responsible.
Common denominator that's always there in these problems. Is sometimes you gotta look back at yourself.
Yeah, and the only person responsible of fixing anything is myself.
It's accountability sometimes, like it's just the accountability, I guess, for some people. I was trying to like categorize it, but no, it's just really accountability, and some people just don't want to take that anymore.
So with us talking about, like, people broken and not wanting to take the accountability and wanting to stay comfortable, we're all human, so I know that you've dealt with some of that too. Do you know your ways, like the ways that you've been able to get out of it? Are you still in it?
Still in it.
Yeah.
I would say still in it, but it just distract myself, keep myself busy, the typical stuff, but also, I don't know, finding a way to try and during the day, during the week, during the month, whatever it is, just try to maybe get it handled, fixed, under control, but
Do you think what we do, do you think having a community base and like having other people doing positive things helps you?
Yeah. And it helps me like come back to my issues sometimes and actually figure it out or take care of it or just have a better understanding of it, you know?
Yeah.
But it's very much having this community has been the best way to like either fix the problem or just be away from the problem.
What do you think? What do you think like your biggest healthy distraction is?
Working when we go to jobs, when I gotta go to work, go help Cassidy with something.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I'm really living for right now.
Yeah.
Like just those moments that I have with everybody here.
Yeah. And
Most
then,
important.
so it's like doing healthy distractions and stuff, and then slowly being able to work on yourselves through
Yeah.
community and just knowing that,
Being at home is how I do that.
well, I
guess I've
know
been
you're in
avoiding
the
that
transition too of like, things have changed for you in this last
Yeah.
like 6 months.
drastically.
Yeah. And I know it's not easy to deal with anything. You know, when we talk about healthy distractions and stuff, for me, a lot of it is just making sure that I'm on a routine. And obviously, I have a lot of distractions, but I do have some that could negatively affect me too. Um, Going to the gym and stuff was always something that helped me, and it's been hard for me to prioritize that with this other job going on, and frankly, all the other little stresses. I'm learning how to run multiple companies at one time and try to
Um,
how to grow and do all of
taking
that.
on people's lives
Yeah.
and their problems too,
and
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 helping
so
them.
I have to kind of learn to separate myself from that, right? And I'm working on it because there is a time where I'd like to be back in the gym 5 days a week. It really is nothing, and I know that working out and stuff is something that helps you too. We've talked about that. I heard this reel or whatever. I can't remember who it is. My memory is not as great as it used to be.
A lot of shit going on.
Yeah, but again, that's fatigue, right? Like memory dies down when you have so much fatigue. But
The Bad Project is about finding those small distractions that keep you moving when life tries to pin you down. That's what our gear stands for. They're reminders you can wear, carry, and share to push through those hard days. Every shirt, every hat, every sticker helps spread the message. When you're wearing it, you're not just buying our merch, you're backing the mission. We're building more than just a brand. As we roll out bad activity events, your support helps make them possible. With new drops, holiday specials, and surprises always around the corner, we really are just getting started. If you want to go even deeper, hit our new Patreon for Bad Thoughts episodes, bonus content, behind the scenes, and a closer seat in this community we're building. We're even doing giveaways. So check out the gear at thebadproject.com, hit our Patreon, and follow us on all the socials to stay locked in. This movement's only growing, and you're going to be a part of it. Thanks for everything you guys are doing. Love you all. Every crew's got that one guy who shows up late, drinks gas station mud, and wonders why he feels like trash by lunch. Don't be that guy. Construction Coffee Co. isn't cheap sludge. It's small batch coffee roasted to keep you moving when everyone else is crying about their backs. Smooth enough to sit black, strong enough to keep you upright when your foreman's breathing down your neck. Fuck that guy. And yeah, they've got gear too. Shirts, hats, workwear built tough enough for the job site, not that pajama junk your apprentice wears. This stuff actually holds up when you're crawling through mud or hanging steel. They're there for you to roast beans and roast you, just like you do with your buddies on the job, because that's the culture. Talk trash, laugh hard, and get it done. Construction Coffee Co. Clock in, drink up, shut up. Go to constructioncoffeeco.com to get yours.
Cass & Co. Upscale Thrift is redefining resale. Think timeless fashion, luxury brands, and curated pieces, all at prices that let you stay stylish without the splurge. Whether you're hunting for vintage classics or this season's designer staples, we'll make high-end accessible. Dress like you own the runway for a fraction of the price.
the guy had said something along the lines of, you can suck, but you can't skip. And I really like that because that's something that I had kind of lived by in the past few years, where it's like you can get up and everything can suck for the day, or you can get to the gym and you can you can do a sucky workout. You can go and get on the elliptical for, I think he had said like, he'll go on the elliptical for 5 minutes. It's okay if he sucked, but he didn't skip. Because again, those small increments of healthy distractions push us through to being better, just incrementally. And you don't have to have the big step. It's cleaning your one drawer in your house. It's making your bed first thing in the morning. It's making sure you're drinking a bunch of water first thing in the morning. Like, there's very small increments that if you do those, they push you to do better things. And it branches out like a tree, always. It doesn't, as long as you keep up with the healthy distractions, eventually you're in a positive place. The positive will always outweigh the negative once you get there.
Yeah. The routine for me, I guess right now, is coming out here, making sure I'm like set up for the week, or like going work with you, but is like having these meetings, having my podcast, or us sharing, or just having bad thoughts, bad project talk, whatever we have, wherever it takes us, notes or not, just having that first 2 days, then I can try getting back into the gym like 2 days out of the 5. Like, I'm not here.
But that feels good. Like,
Yeah,
even 2
it
days,
does.
like
When I can like get there 1 or 2 days, I feel good about myself and feel better. Routine outside of work is just not healthy, not good right now. So it's like I gotta really, really diagnose the problem and go after it. I'm trying to just keep it to the goals we got with and everything.
I got to cut that out. Nobody's supposed to know we do.
Right.
It's okay.
But the plans we got for other big things outside of the podcast, and I really just want to keep it to like the goals we got for everybody and for ourselves. Battlefield in the gym. I'm really hoping I can just make that my routine. I'm starting to get good at that.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm starting to get good, I feel like.
But
that feels like a safe routine for me for a couple years before it needs to be adjusted, whatever. Especially
I mean,
big plans.
We have a lot of growth that can come with everything that we're doing. And I'm happy to have you on the team. I think that obviously very beneficial, and we get along to be able to talk on here about deeper stuff. And it's always good to have those people around. And I want to make sure that I'm a positive influence on everybody else around me.
It's hard.
I'm not always there.
It's hard.
Yeah.
You got, in my opinion, too much going on.
Yeah.
But also, I've seen it, see why, see the goal, see the end goal, see everything. So it's like, I'm there too, but also it's just like, gonna have to slow down. Like, some things are gonna have to just slow down.
Yeah.
And find more peace and solace at home.
For me, it's the organization of it. For me, it's deciding what goal needs priority right now, and that always shifts. It always shifts. If we're doing something with the house, my routine is a mess if I don't fix the thing with the house immediately. And it always, my priority is always making sure that my routine is okay. And it doesn't always work out that it lines up, but that's my goal all the time. And then from there, as long as my routine is okay, then I can shift and start looking at my bigger goals. But I think that's something that could definitely benefit people, and it might benefit yourself too. Is like making sure that you're feeling okay first. I know that moving into a new house when there's nothing there, and things are hard to set up, and there's just kind of in like a lapse zone, right? I know that I'm going to end up getting out there and talking to you about what to do for the whole basement and stuff like that. And that'll be a fun project. That'll be something to like push towards, Yeah.
Just looking at the bottom of it, it's like, I hate the look of that.
Yeah. No. So, just I think us just finding like small increments of being able to help, it might be beneficial for us as a team on the days that everybody's here and we don't have a job going on, for us to go and take a walk, or us to go do a workout outside, even in the cold. Like sometimes the harder that we push ourselves, the better off that we are. I obviously do have a lot going on, but I think everybody else could do more for themselves rather than more for this. The goal here is not just to grow, to be able to help people. The goal is to make sure that we're all helping ourselves first, because that's the only beneficial way that we're able to help people.
Yeah. Kind of like the air deploy thing in case of a plane, where it's just like, get your mask on first before you help someone get theirs on.
It's funny you say that. That's literally like one of my favorite things to say, is always put your mask on first. Because you can't help somebody if you're drowning. You can't help somebody if you can't breathe. Like, there's another thing when it comes to the Coast Guard, where they will only save the people who are swimming to them first. Because if the other people aren't willing to swim, they put themselves in risk to help somebody who doesn't want to help themselves. So you can sit at the dock and you can reach out, but you don't have to get in the icy water by yourself. And that, there's an aspect of that, of going to save people who don't want to save themselves. It's a hard concept, because you know that people are worth it. There's times where I get upset with people and how they act towards me or towards anybody else around. And there's times where I've lashed out at people in public because of just how I felt about how they were interacting with other humans. But in general, I believe that all humans are good, and I believe that we have the capability of being better. Sometimes I believe that we all need a reminder that it's our responsibility to be better.
It's our responsibility to be better. It's other people's responsibility to also be understanding. And right now, I feel like a lot of people just categorize, judge, or I don't know, what's the profile?
Yeah.
They think they're the world's excellent, like, criminal profiler. So they're like, they see somebody criminal or not, they think they just know them all together. I know I do it too much myself. We got to stop thinking we know everybody before we even talk to them.
Can't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes you get down into the book and it's just like the cover.
Yeah,
I get that.
I'm not gonna lie,
but a lot of the times
the book is just like the cover. You knew what you were gonna read, and it wasn't worth your time.
Yeah,
but sometimes it's gonna surprise you. Like I've met some people where it's just like rough on the outside, and then you talk to them, most beautiful human being in the world you could really get to know. Yeah. Sometimes their little rough exterior does show off, and they're like, oh yeah, I love my guns. And it's just like, well, who doesn't these days? I'm about to be loving these guns myself. So it's okay. But there's just some people where you're expecting the worst for some odd reason when you first see them, and you don't know a damn thing about them. And then you get to talk to them, and you're like, I can't wait till I see that person.
Yeah.
They were so awesome. And you gotta be more understanding, or else you're never going to make those friends and make those connections and realize how small the world still is a little bit.
I think making the connections and outside of your little bubble is really helpful. We went to a concert over at 8 Ball the other night, and we ran into somebody and just immediately, started talking to him about deer hunting and all this other stuff, and talking that he was from like upstate New York, and we were talking about the fact that like the city of New York City is like such a small increment of how big New York is, and New York is a beautiful place, tons of lakes, tons of like hills and stuff, and like
I liked it more in Buffalo area.
Yeah.
I did not think I was gonna love Buffalo that much. It was beautiful. It was awesome. It had every kind of food you wanted, and it was like this is why people leave.
the funny thing is that it's not that far away for us to to go out and explore.
5 hours.
To go out and explore and stuff. Pittsburgh is only like 3.5 hours away.
Yeah, I think
And
that's very funny.
it's so much fun. I love going to Pittsburgh and stuff, but I've always been one to love, the traveling aspect of it too. I like new things. I like experiencing new things. I like experiencing new places. I traveled when I was younger, working with some cool guys. At one of my first jobs, we was like a kind of like a commercial cabinet company who built a bunch of metal cabinets for like schools and like colleges and stuff, like workbenches and welding labs and locker cabinets and stuff like that. And then we would go and take our stuff, and we would go take a truck and drive out. For the most part, it was all out east. I'd go do installs with some cool people, and being at such a young age doing that and working with older people was fun. We had a bunch of dipshits in the shop that some of them I didn't like, some of them I did.
But other times,
And the funny thing is, the ones that ended up leaving were the ones that I didn't, like. But I had family there, and I made some good friends there. But going on the installs and stuff, I'm sure that I was like this little arrogant kid. But man, it was really fun. I was having like really the time of my life. On top of it,
it was like the TikTok of, it was like me and somebody's dad at work, and it was just like an older guy doing this,
yeah,
and
it was
younger
cool.
guy dancing.
I had a lot of fun, and just going out and being able to experience new things on somebody else's. It felt like somebody else's time. I was working, but we got to go stay in hotels, and like I was still too young to drink, but yeah, it was really fun for me. I had a lot of good times.
It was one of those jobs where it's like kind of like from Fury, where it was like best job ever.
Yeah, I'm glad that I got out of it because I experienced a whole lot more. I literally went from there to working at a detail shop to I worked there for I don't know. It was only like 6 months.
How did you make the switch from that to
Nate was working there. Nate's brother was working there. So we all went in, and just started working
there. Was it more
there.
money?
It was the potential of more money. We got money per car, but ultimately no. But what happened is I worked there for like 6 months, if that, and immediately, because of the dynamics of all of that and how it wasn't,
I heard about it,
wasn't ran perfectly. And they were just hurting for people who actually wanted to work harder. And I was always a driven person that I ended up managing their whole retail store, and then eventually ended up managing, their retail store. And then we were in-house in a bunch of dealerships up and down Jackson Road, and I was running those. But this is all while I was like 21, 22.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of experience of dealing with people who don't want to show up to work every day. And I never understood it because me and Nate were actually just talking. I think we talked to you
guys
about
were talking
it.
about it. Was like, what? I always go to work. I don't even care if I got 10 minutes to sleep.
It didn't matter what we did. We showed up for work.
Yeah.
And the guys found me sleeping under my desk one day, like at the detail shop, because I was there. We had a whole lot of cars, and I just stayed and worked and worked. I mean, it was my responsibility. Now, that being said, like the salary I was making and shit did not pan out to the hours I was working. But I was a kid too. I got tricked into a few things, and I'm sure the people that I was working for weren't trying to trick me. They were looking out for themselves in the business.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I realized that I was getting fucked over there, and I started off on doing trim carpentry. And the Dan really took me in, and I learned from his guys, and I learned from him, and I had the opportunity to do a lot of really cool things, and really learn and grow as a person. It just so happened that in the middle of that, I went through some of the darkest times of my life. And that had nothing to do with any of them. It was myself, and it was my brain. It was the chemicals in my brain not aligning, and it was my choice to abuse drugs like crazy and drink like crazy. And, a lot of the times in construction that happens. We work day in and day out, and it never ends, and we just want some kind of escape, and we want to enjoy it as fast as possible. So for me, I was working so much that it's like, how do I make the most of every night and make the most of every weekend? And it was, do cocaine and drink. And this night will be the best night of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year. And that just, it's not sustainable, and it doesn't make any sense in the big picture of it.
I don't know how some friends are still like in their 20th year of that lifestyle. Like Cassidy just worry about some of them. We're like, how are you still doing blow?
Make sure you talk.
It's like, how are you still doing cocaine at year 12? I can't believe how some people
are just functional and they're able to do it.
Yeah.
It's not something that's okay for me. If you can live a basic life and you can manage, if you're actually happy that way, then okay. But it's not something that I can sustain.
It's not,
and it's also something that
it's not a safe. It's not a safe. It never has been a safe drug, but it hasn't gotten any safer. There was a fentanyl crisis, and now they're saying there isn't, and it's like, well, that's just going to push people to do it even more.
Yeah. Well, there's, and there's people that were lost here, friends of everybody around me who have lost people because of it.
Yeah.
That alone was a crazy and scary thing. And for me, I got out of it, and there's a statistic too, and I really wish I had it up in front of me, and I almost shouldn't say it. There's some kind of percentage that correlates between the amount of steady use of cocaine and the developing of bipolar disorder.
Yep.
Because it shoots you high and it pulls you back down low, and it's just a constant. And if you're doing it all the time, you're shooting yourself back up, and your brain chemistry, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that your brain chemicals think that that's where you have to be, is always high and low. And I'm not sure of a way to get back out of that. I'm sure that there's, I'm sure that there's ways. Anything that I've used so far has just been medication and talk therapy and things like that. So
I'm starting to think you're right about that, because after my years of using it, a lot of people told me like he gets pissed, and he gets pissed fast, and it's like, oh, the way they describe it is like, I'm not used to it. Well, the last two people I really care about, and just one with my ex, and one with like a friend I've always cared about for a very long time. At the end of my relationship with my ex, we never really got into an argument, me and her. I'm not gonna say her name, but you know her.
Yeah.
And I don't know how in the argument, I guess I stepped near her as I was like screaming, and for her that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
And that was after like just getting back on it for a week or two.
Yeah.
And she was just like, and she couldn't tell that I was on it at all, but she was very much just like, that little switch in you changed me. And then a friend too back home, like, you got closer and closer to me as you were screaming at me.
Yeah.
It was like, yep, I feel like you're right. It kind of might have some correlation with bipolarism, because they were both like, you seem bipolar now. And it's like, I don't know if it's between cocaine usage and working in kitchens for 10 years.
Well,
But-
that's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
You're just screaming but
Oh yeah.
you know, it's just like a up and down thing. Like the people in in the kitchen might be your best friends before shift or after shift when you go out drinking or whatever. But then, you know, in the middle of it, you're just so heightened and so at the top that
I could I told Jordan, I don't know how many times, like I could slap your fat ass right now and shit like that. And then end of the night, he's like, I'm sorry. And then he's very much just like, why do you think I'm taking you out? It's all right.
I think I really wonder, and I wonder if there's studies done on that, because as you're living your normal life, if you're providing yourself with massive dopamine releases and then having, you know, a period where there's none, where you're not doing anything and it causes a depression, I wonder if that happens based off of our behavior.
I think so too.
Like maybe not even just like you're
maybe
talking
the
about
change of behavior that cocaine might have given you from the person you were before you first tried it to after you finally made the decision of you don't want it all the time, you don't need it all the time, don't want to do it anymore, if it's that. And then the long-term side effects of what happens there, the life decisions that happened with it, what you were doing while you're on cocaine, what major situations happened on your life during cocaine, and just a lot of factors like that I feel like might be key to knowing like if you got some kind of mental disorder from cocaine, like being bipolar.
Well, from any drugs, really. I mean, you know, there's I wonder if it's not just that though. I wonder if our behavioral patterns, like you saying that, you know, working in the kitchen or something like that is like, or working behind a bar where things are really moving really fast, and then some days they're just really low. If our body tries to reenact that every day, because that's what it's used to. So maybe sometimes it's not even ran by drugs or substance abuse, or maybe sometimes I wonder if it's there's a correlation between our behaviors and that. Like having a very stressful job and then having a diminishing downfall from that throws you into a depression.
I do feel like your career choices after a certain age, I want to say around like 22, 23, kind of for some people dictates in a way their personalities, but also their behaviors, how they do things, the way they want to do things, what they use, what brands they use of whatever, and like basically how they run their house is a good representation of seeing how much their work life or career life has become their life.
Yeah.
And I've seen that with chefs, you can tell that real easy. Like I saw one lady post, she's a great chef. She's like, you want to see what my house looks like? The kitchen just looks like a restaurant, and it's just everything was labeled and is like, yeah, hell, cooking runs her whole life. So yeah, sometimes it's like that. And
I definitely agree. I mean, it's hard not to, right?
Yeah, like I've seen a semi-truck driver who still loved semi-trucks once he got home. His whole house was decorated in ceramic semi-trucks and all this stuff. And I was just like, dude, you want to live on the road. All right. I get it.
It's hard not to have the personality that you gain from your career if you choose to have a career.
Or you're like, if you're younger,
and that's where you're spending most of your time.
Sports, sometimes, like, I would say for me, even though I don't even touch a wrestling bat or coach wrestling right now, that made a big impact in my life and who I was going to be as a person. Am I as tough and as strong as I used to be as a young gun wrestling? Not just talking about physically, but just being tough enough to handle some shit. No, I would say I'm a pussy compared to the 22-year-old version that was Brody. Like 22-year-old Brody, I would be letting that guy down right now. He very much knew what the fuck he was, and he was very much, I'm not taking no shit from nobody. And I love that kid. I miss him every day.
Well, there's got to be a way to get back to that feeling, right? And I think it takes a lot of work because it's taken a lot.
Mental health and physical health are the big factors I have to get after to maybe be that person again or something like that. But most of the time, it just needs to be putting me in a pissed off mood or putting one of you guys in a bad situation to where it's like, oh no, he's still there.
Yeah.
I could snap on a dime. Oh,
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Let me see. You want to end this one?
Yeah, I feel like.
Okay. Well, let's end it. Let's end it on a good note. So
we should have Ben on someday.
Yeah, we could definitely.
God, we gotta have him on. I feel like he would add a lot. Ben, we're gonna get you.
Yeah. Let's end this on a good note too. So we have another week until we're gonna be on here. Is there anything specific that you want to focus on doing for yourself positively this week that will help you with baby steps towards being better and feeling better?
Building that bed frame.
Yeah.
Gotta get off the air mattress. Even though I like it, I gotta get off that air mattress and I gotta build that thing. My cousin Joseph helped me carry it all the way down. I gotta get my bed on there.
Okay. So trying to do that, and then
yeah.
What about us just coming over and trying to at least just come up with a plan?
Yeah. That's gonna be big. And especially just not starting it right away, but just like having a vision of what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah. I mean, dude, here's the fun thing. We can do that, and we could even spray paint lines on the floor. And then you get a visual, you know. I think that's something that would definitely help. And it doesn't have to happen right away, you know, but I think just even having the visual, like you get to walk by every day and see like, oh, there's, you know, the fun thing for me when I was growing up, we moved here from Ann Arbor to Manchester, and we were broke, and we lived in a small camper, me and my dad and my brother and my mom, in the freezing cold, and our snow boots and our shoes, we tied plastic bags around for, warmth, and then also to keep them clean because we didn't have a way to wash our stuff at the time. And we were building that house at my parents'. And watching it develop and watching my own home develop was something that definitely helped me when I was a kid, to learn that it's like we built it. I was young, but we built it. I helped my dad with the hardwood floor. I was up on the scaffolding when we were pouring the walls. Like, it helped me learn that it's my responsibility to provide for myself. And I think that having a plan to do that is something that's definitely going to help you. I know it's something that helps me. I always have fun when I'm building my own stuff, coming up with a plan the first time, because it's endless. You can do whatever you want. And so I think by next week, we could definitely come and talk on here and see how sleeping in your own actual bed might help you. And we can talk about, any other positive things that you're doing throughout the week and stuff.
Lately, it's been working and guiding the minds of high schoolers.
Well, good.
Related to them, and it's the workplace, so it's like, God, I need you boys. I need you boys. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Go ahead and leave me for college in a year. Don't care. Lord, I need you guys to stop talking about butts and farts for 4 seconds and make the damn pizza.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's wrap this up, and we'll go from there. So I'll see you next week.
I'll see you next week.
All right.
I'll see you.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Love you.